EasyFlex NoDig edging. So I had it in last week's show. 4 times the number of people ordered it than we thought would. We have a little bit remaining. I use this all around my property. I've actually lined my entire back garden bed. Here you go. There's my house right there. That used to be just the kind of edging that you dig a trench and it's plasticky, it's terrible. And I pulled it out and I did this and I took the stones from the driveway and I put them on there. Look at how beautiful. I also did a fire pit. I'm not sure if you guys had the fire pit picture available as well, but I did that one too. I think Lou Caputo's more in love with my fire pit than he is with my regular edging, but it's never been easier. You don't have to dig, you don't have to trench. What you do is you lay it down, there's my little fire pit, you lay it in a pattern that you want, and you nail it down with these spikes. Now, when I bought mine last year, you only got like 16 spikes. This year, you're getting 32, double the anchoring spikes, and all you do is you just nail them in with a little rubber mallet, you know, or a hammer. You can actually even push them in. There's little connectors if you want to connect 2 pieces. It's brilliant. So I still have all colors available, which I'm shocked about because this sold so many thousands last week, but I do have it available in the red, which is right here in front of me. And to give you an idea, it's like a brownish red. I'm sorry, Andre? Less than 200 in red, all right? It will sell out. I have it available in the brown. I have it available in the gray, and then the one that I use is this black right here, $26.99. You get 50 feet of no-dig edging. It's the easiest, most dramatic change you can make on your property. You'll love it. Let me get Lou Caputo out here because this will sell out again. Lou, baby, what's happening?
Guy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. Hey, good to see you this morning. You know what? I do have fire pit envy.
Yeah, I know you do. You can do it, Lou.
I know. I could. Hey, listen, I got to apologize. I'm inside today because they're paving the street in front of my house, of course. So it's a little too loud out there. But this is some great stuff right here. This is maybe one of the easiest DIY projects you're ever going to do. It's simple. The no-dig edging that you see right here, it's incredibly flexible. I mean, this stuff is just, look at this. You can bend it any way you need to, but it is really, really tough. It'll stand up to a weed whacker or a string trimmer. Nothing's going to damage this, which I love about it. Now, Guy was mentioning the tabs on the back of this and on the bottom, and that's actually the part that sits on the ground like this. And then you tack it in using all these spikes that we give you. We give you so many of these tabs because a lot of times when you're putting in edging, there's obstacles under the ground that you can't see. There might be a pipe, a root, a rock, you don't know, and then you're out of luck. You have to like have one part that's sticking up, not with your EasyFlex. EasyFlex will go in anywhere you want to. The other thing about it is it stands 1.25 inches tall, so it's going to hold back all your ground cover if you've got crushed shell, rocks, mulch, anything like that. One of the cool things I like about this is just how you can bend this into any shape you need. If I need to do a straight line, I can do that. If I need to curve it, I can do that. I can cut this with any pair of shears. And one of the things that people overlook all the time is the spikes themselves. These spikes, remember, you are getting 32 of these. What makes them unique is the way that they have this corkscrew pattern on it. Whoops, we call it a spire, okay? And what that does for you is they're not gonna pop out of the ground. If you live up north and you've ever put anything, spiked anything into the ground, when the ground freezes, it causes what we call ground heave, or the ground actually tightens and it pops these things out. That's not going to happen with your no-dig, with your EasyFlex. This stuff is absolutely incredible. And Guy, you know what? It might be the fastest DIY project that anybody does to beautify the front of their house for curb appeal and the back of the house, just to make it look neat.
Lou, you know, it's funny because last time you and I worked together, you reminded me of that edging that I had, which was essentially, it was essentially you'd have to take like a hoe and you had to, like, you know, stick it in the ground, rock it back and forth, and then a little bit at a time you had to do it. And then I bought, Lou, show that what you were just showing. Then I bought the wooden ones. This is what Lou will show you. And that was a really nice idea. It lasted 1 season before it rotted. 1 season.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the materials on this, it's just a bad idea because Lou, it is wood and wood rots.
Lou, those are like 20 bucks a piece. Those sections. They're really expensive.
So do the math on that though. So you're getting 50 feet today of the EasyFlex at 20 bucks a piece. How many of these would you need?
Probably need.
You don't need to do 50 feet. Yeah. This thing is maybe 2 feet.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least 15 of them. That's what? That's $300-400 just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Well, here's the other thing too. That's heavy. That's tough to work with. You only get 3 mounting points on that. With ours, not only do you have all the mounting points, I can cut it to any size that I need. I can make a circle like you did with your fire pit. Watch how quickly he's putting this in the ground. You don't have to use a mallet. I think you're going to find that if your ground's softer, you can just push these into the ground, the spikes. They're that simple. But see, this right here is the money for me, man.
Look at that.
It keeps that separation really looking fresh. It looks very clean. And none of your ground cover is going to float away. Like my mulch, I can't tell you how sick I am of getting bags of mulch, or I was, having to throw them out there every time it rained. And it rains a lot here in Florida. And your ground cover just disappears. That's not going to happen. But the cool thing is it's only 1.25 inches tall. So it's not obtrusive. Like people are looking at it going like, wow, look, he's got this wall, this barrier built over there. No, it's just high enough to keep everything back and keep it looking really neat and clean. Now, this can be cut with any pair of pruning shears. Really, really simple to do. This is just an average pair of shears. And all I do is just pick the spot I want to cut. Boom, just like that, we cut right through this. Now, if I want to connect 2 pieces together, let's say that I want to do a long section or I want to do a circle and I need to connect both ends, we give you a couple sets of these connectors and you can just put these in place like this and then you just put your spike through both parts and that's going to hold this together. All right, so the possibilities with this are virtually endless. I mean, it's remarkable, and I recommend get more than you think you need because you're going to start thinking about other ways to use it along a path, your flower beds. I mean, all over the house.
Hey, if you want it in the red color, I'm down to about 10 dozen, maybe 12 dozen left. All right, so maybe what, 150, maybe, Andre? 140 now, if you want to get it in this color.
Ooh.
Please do yourself a favor, listen to what Mr. Caputo just said. If you think you need more, do not wait. I waited last year, I bought the 1 set, right? And I needed more, because I was like, oh my gosh, this stuff is awesome. And I had to wait like 2 months before it came back in, all right? It's really, really high in demand right now. Let's show everybody, if we could, we'll show everybody what I did with it, because I think it's important that you know that we do it too. So before I did this, I had old school, like, you know, it was basically like a sheet of paper. That was the edging. You had to dig down 6 inches in the ground to put it in. Do you know how hard it is to dig a 6-inch deep trench that's like 30, 40 feet long? It's impossible. So what I did is I tore it up. I bought this stuff and literally laid it down. I got stones from the driveway because I had a ton of extra stones in the driveway. And I put them on. You know, I never have to weed. The grass doesn't grow over it. That's a recent picture. I mean, look at how beautiful that looks. And then Danny and his buddies were always bugging me about, oh, Dad, I wish we had a fire pit. We need a fire pit back there. So I didn't want to build one of the ones out of cement blocks. I'm like, that's going to cost me $500 to build that thing. So I was like, you know what? I got the stones, I got the NoDig edging, and there's my fire pit right there. It's got the little cover on it, but it's perfect. The kids get their little, the little Mac Sports rocking chairs that they also got from Lou. Oh, yeah. And they sit around it, and they absolutely love it, and they hang out, and it just gives me a lot of pleasure to watch them out there. So never easier. Everybody will get 50 feet, all right? It's a lot, all right? And all you do is you open it up, cut it. Now, Lou brought up a good point. Do not use ordinary scissors because you'll never get through the stuff. Use your garden shears, the ones that are a little more industrial because this is heavy-duty stuff. I'm just being honest, all right? You want it to be heavy-duty because that blocks the weeds and all that stuff. But get it home, you're going to love it. We are extremely busy. We have 100 left if you want it in the reddish-brown. We have it available in brown, which is I love this color. You know the reason why mine is black? Because we didn't have any other color available. What's that? 700 left in brown. This is the dark, it's almost like a charcoal blacky gray color. It's not pitch black, but it's dark. And then I also have it in the silver gray. These are the little spikes, okay? All you do, if you got one of those little rubber hammers, I do. But if not, you could use, honestly, you could use a 2x4, you could use a regular hammer. Most cases, you can push it down with your hand. It's not hard. This is what's gonna anchor it. And one last tip, and Lou knows this, I don't put a spike in every hole. You don't need to. I put one on the end hole, and then I'll go like maybe 4 or 5 away. Yeah. That's how I do it. So you can save those. There's no reason to put those in. You don't need to do that. So that's how I save the spikes. And Lou, I am telling you, it's one of the easiest projects that was so hard before that I've ever done, right?
Yeah, that was one of those things that you would put off as long as you can, especially in the summertime, because it's just really hot, miserable work, and you're crouched over the whole time, and it's just not fun, And that's the thing about this is you don't have to drive that many stakes in if you don't want to. I mean, if you're not doing a curve, like you said, Guy, you could go every 4 or 5. You don't have to do every single one. So it goes really fast. I mean, the first time I did it, I was actually surprised how quick that went. You know what the hardest part was just pushing back the ground cover. That was it. I mean, other than that, it's super, super simple to do, and even that wasn't that hard. But Guy, remember, at the beginning of all this craziness, when you and I first went into quarantine and, we were doing all these projects, what did we say we weren't going to do?
Anything hard.
Anything hard.
No,
right.
Lou and I, we always kid each other because the list that we had, mine was a self-imposed list. I'm sure Lou's was half Lou and half Kelly, telling him that she wanted to do stuff. But Lou and I got to the point where we're like, okay, enough. It's been 6 months of COVID. I've done everything I could do. I don't mind doing projects if they're easy. This was easy. And it normally impossible, but it was easy.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing about this. And don't be, deceived by the fact that, look, I show you how flexible this is. I mean, it is really flexible. I can make a circle with it like Guy did with his fire pit. I mean, there's that. But this stuff is tough. You go up against this with the weed whacker and it's like nothing happened to it. As opposed to something like this, which people buy because they are flexible. But if you look at the back of this, it's hollow. I mean, this thing will get chewed up in a second if you hit it with a string trimmer. I want to show you this one though, Guy. You want to talk about tough things to do? These concrete block things right here. Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this is solid concrete.
Yeah.
You got to dig down about 2-3 inches to put this in. And then once you do, my gardeners just shut up. And once you do, this thing will get all mildewed. This is another pressure washing job. Who wants that?
Nobody. Yeah, it turns green. And not a good green,
it turns
Lou.
green.
Not a good green. It's a dirty green. It's like, oh, it's green.
It's a bad
so it looks
green.
like now. Mold and mildew does not look good. This is mold and mildew resistant. It's never been easier. You're getting 50 feet. So measure. Maybe you're outside right now, or maybe your partner, wife, or husband is outside measuring. But I do the foot to foot, and always under measure so you have more, and figure out the pattern, and then buy the stuff. Get it home. Last call. Red's gone. Man, that was quick last call, wasn't it? All right, so red is gone. Hey, look, get brown. All right, I'll put the brown on top of the red so you can see.
Yeah.
There you go. It really is not that big of a difference in color. So if you didn't get the red, just get the brown. You're gonna love it. In fact, the brown was the color I wanted last year, but we never got it back in stock. So I just did it all in that deep charcoal color. And you know what? Most of it is not visible. All you see is really that beautiful line of delineation where you've put it. And I'm telling you, it's so nice. It's like a makeover for your yard. That's what we should call it, Lou. It should be called EasyFlex NoDig Makeover Edging. That's what we should call it, Lou.
I want to call it like 15-minute maker or something like that, because literally you're going to be stunned at how quickly this goes. It's incredible stuff.
I love it.
Look at that.
Yeah, look, this is all you do. And remember, Lou and I said, don't put them in every one unless you really feel like you have to. I don't. I go about every 5 because I like to have the extra spikes. And I'm, what, this is the kind of thing, Lou, you do one project, you're going to want to do a whole bunch more, right?
You are. Yeah, you are. And that's why I think if people want a specific color, buy it now. Because this stuff sells out all the time when we have it here. And if you're thinking about doing a couple different areas in your backyard, get it now. And maybe you'll make a fire pit too, because you're going to feel that inspired because of how easy this is to work with.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Lou knows this too. If your wife or kids or your partner, whatever it is, ask you to build a fire pit, take Lou's and my advice and do one like I did. All right? It literally, I bought the fire pit online. I had the stones from my driveway, and I bought the edging. That's all I did. I mean, literally, I got that fire pit done in like an hour. All right? I mean, look at that. There it is. That's exactly what mine looks like. Only mine has the fire pit in the middle. And I do the same thing. I put the white stones in. I love how it pops. It looks so nice in the yard. Look right there at that line right there, right, Lou? I mean, that's why you buy it. That nice, clean line.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, is having that nice crisp edge on there. And you're not limited to before where you have to think linearly, where you go like, okay, I got to have one piece that goes straight and another piece that butts up to it. No, now you got that nice smooth curve in there any way you want to put it. Look at that. You can do whatever you need to with this.
So easy.
Great stuff.
I don't even break a sweat looking at you doing that, Lou. Hey, look at that, flexible.
Easy.
All right, Lou,
It's easy.
we added some extra time. We have so many people buying this right now. You know, it's one of the best do-it-yourself projects you can do at home that's easy. So get it. You're going to love it. 701-039. Thank you, Lou.
You're welcome, buddy. See ya.
See you, pal. And customer pick, you love it too. So get it home. It's going to be great. All right. We got so much new. I love the early parts